but that evil Catholic priest told them that they can't learn about Mormonism anymore.
Right. And he has to say grace, which is his clever way of teaching them the Mormonism plan. But I wanted so badly for him to just be like, oh, do you mind if I say grace? Okay, great. Dear Father, please forgive these jerk faces who are going to burn in hell forever, who might have gotten their own planet, or at least the soul in a few decades, but they won't. Amen. Please pass the glop.
God-awful movie.
Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema because all the other jobs I'm qualified for are sweaty. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and sitting 700 miles to my immediate left is my good friend Heath Enright. Heath, welcome back.
Thanks, Noah. So, you know who really carries a burden?
Who's
the white
that?
man.
Yeah, the white
man does.
I thought,
especially the Mormon white man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And sitting 900 miles to my northeast, of course, is my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Eli, how are you this fine afternoon, sir?
I was just thinking about the new listener who turned on this podcast. It's their first episode.
It's nice that Heath always goes context free at the open, isn't it?
You got to get them. But you know what? We'll get some on board, and then we'll be like halfway through. And
yeah,
right.
Like, wait a minute, they were making fun of us.
They hadn't been talking about.
I don't feel like that needs context to be accurate. That's just read some Rudyard Kipling.
That's your thing. You trick racists into our podcast. You wanted a thing. That's your thing.
All right, so Tell us, Heath, quick, before it's too late, before they turn off, what will we be breaking down today?
Satire. We watched The Other Side of Heaven. It's about the part of Mormon heaven on the other side that's reserved for affirmative action missions.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's separate, and it's eventually equal, starting in 1978.
Yes.
But, still not really equal.
No.
But kind of then, eventually.
And Eli, how bad was this movie?
Well, if you loved The Help, but you hated the subtlety of its message and the nuances of its portrayal, you will love this movie. It's, Elder Tom's Cabin.
How sad is it? I was starting to write this question, and then I changed the question to simply, how sad is it that I could have asked this question? We've watched enough Mormon missionary adventure films for me to ask you where this one ranks.
Super sad. Super duper sad. I met someone who didn't know I reviewed Christian films for the first time the other day, and they were like, what kind of movies? And I listed like 20 and watched as their face sagged with horror and disappointment as words kept coming out of my face over and over. Have you ever crushed someone under the weight of your conversation? That's how sad.
All right, is there anything you guys feel like nominating this one for being the best at being the worst at?
Best worst trumpet playing.
What the fuck? Thought that might bother you.
It's ridiculous. The main character is supposed to be a trumpet player, and they show him play several times at length, and each time it gets crazier.
It's worse every time.
It's worse. It's somehow worse every time, and the bar is set high from the first one. First of all, there's 3 buttons on a trumpet. There's 3 valves. You either press it down or you don't. That's it. And if you press a valve, your note usually changes. They are not aware of this. He's pushing them down at like 3 different heights and like messing around. He starts moving the trumpet like a steering wheel. He's stuck inside the trumpet like a mime at one point. It's fucking nonsense. I was furious.
It's literally a water bottle at one point.
Yeah.
It is. It actually is. And it would not work.
No, right. Yeah, no, here's this thing I spit in. We'll filter our water through it. All right, so I was going to go with best worst spotless cutting room floor. There are so many goddamn scenes, like the whole opening of this movie, like and throughout you're just like, oh, well, you could have been 90 minutes then, really.
Could have cut that act. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What was that for? Oh, movie? Because you wanted it to be a movie, sure.
Because apparently all Mormon missionary movies have to be 2 goddamn hours long.
It's the law. Okay. This goes to my best worst. Best worst mission.
Yes.
I know this is sort of a core conceit, but I can't get over the fact that this movie is just about the worst fucking luck one guy had. People go to Boise, Idaho. People go to New York City. I've seen the ones that go to New York City.
That's a mission to New York City?
Yeah.
Really?
And this movie is basically about a guy who got shot out of a cannon in the direction of Tonga for no reason. None. To make an island of Christians believe in a slightly different brand of Christianity that his own church didn't believe had souls yet.
Yes. It's fucking insane. All right. Well, our people clearly have a burden, as Heath said, so we're going to keep the break brief here, and when we come back, we'll dive into all the civilizing of the savages that is the other side of heaven.
That's right, racists. Stay tuned. Maybe we're on your side.
You don't know for sure yet.
Heath's your guy.
Hey, Eli, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Noah, just buying domain names.
Oh, why's that?
Well, our 200th episode is coming up, and I want to be ready for...
Ready for...
whatever gift you get me and Heath. I mean, I can't believe Noah bought us Jaguars.com, the cat, not the car, obviously. And I don't even need two Nintendo Switches.com, and I'm designing it all on Wix.
On Wix?
Yeah, it's the easiest way to bring your amazing ideas to life, with hundreds of stunning templates, built-in SEO tools, and easy-to-use design features, making I'm not sure how you cloned Madge and got me a second Madge, but you did it and I'm grateful.com was a breeze.
Eli, that must be super expensive.
Not at all. Actually, with Wix, you can start and publish for free. And if you want to get started now, you just go to Wix.com, that's Wix.com/podcast to get 10% off.
Wix.com/podcast sounds great, but but don't get your hopes up on the gift stuff, okay?
I mean, I'm okay with whatever. He's the one with his hopes up. He bought .com.
Is that even legal?
It's in international waters.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's harder to prosecute.
All right. Okay, is everybody ready for their mission assignments?
Yay!
All right, Elder Hampson.
Yes?
You'll be headed to Iceland. Don't forget to pack a coat.
I won't. I won't.
All right, Elder Smitherson.
Yes?
You're headed to Japan. I hope you like sushi.
I do love sushi there. Yeah.
Yep.
And Elder Enright?
Yes.
For your mission, you'll be headed to the Christian hell. Bring some ice.
Yeah,
bring some
you'd have to bring ice.
What? Sorry, no, did you just say I'm going to the Christian hell
yes.
for my mission?
Mm-hmm.
Bring shorts.
Bring shorts.
Right. Okay, sorry, just real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not confused. You mean like the lake of fire where sinners go to burn forever for not accepting our Lord and Savior? That's where I'm going.
The one and only, yes. Now, Elder Goldstone.
Okay, no, just sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a lot of names to get to.
No, totally. No, I get it. Lots of names. It just seems like people in hell, where you're saying I'm going, they might not be super open to becoming Mormon because, they're already in hell.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you, Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're going to Japan. So, do you want to swap? I'll go to Japan and you go to hell. If that's, you think it'll work?
I don't think we could do that. I don't think we
swap. You can't.
Nope.
Gee, shucks. This just occurred to me though. Am I going to be safe in hell? Like with the lake of fire? Am I going to be safe from demons and stuff? It seems like a lot. Danger-wise.
Sure.
Yeah. I need you to be so much more certain than you are right now.
Hey, Elder,
Don't say bring a fan.
I was going to say that.
You were going to say fan. Yeah.
I
fucking hate this religion. This is the worst.
Yeah.
I quit the religion. And we're back for the breakdown, and we're going to start off with a bunch of long, pointless biographical shit, because if he didn't tell us he was born, how would we know he came from a womb?
Yep, this is all
Jesus.
vital to the story because, spoiler alert, there is no story to this movie.
Right, yes.
This is the vacation slides of moviedom.
He says, I was born in Idaho Falls during the Great Depression. And I'm like, everybody born in Idaho Falls is born during a Great Depression. Okay.
Yeah. And that's not really a big transition, is it? Feels like shit was pretty much the same there when the Depression hit. They were just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. He brags about how his dad once got to meet Harry Truman. I don't know if that's brag-worthy, but okay.
Drop the bomb on Hiroshima.
Yeah,
maybe you heard of him? Extra super duper won World War II for us.
Yeah, he actually mentions they did a moment of silence for Hiroshima.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's all squared up. We did a silence.
Watching him try to explain empathy without using the word so that Mormons wouldn't turn off this VHS cassette is so, he's like, we all sat there and I thought to myself, being turned to dust sounds, how do I say this, less fun?
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, that silence we did the other day, we're going to count that for Nagasaki too,
Yes.
right? We'll just bundle that all up.
We really did take 2 minutes.
Teacher's just like, I'm not doing a silence every time we genocide innocent civilians
I feel like we're going to be doing this a lot this summer.
with exact normal.
What are we doing in school in August?
Oh my! So we get this long thing about how
I just realized
liars.
it's in August.
Yeah,
So
I just
this is
realized that
just
too
a
as I
lie.
said that. I was like, wait a minute. You
Hold
fucking
on a
liars. That was
second.
August 6th and August 9th. Liars.
He was not in school.
Idaho didn't start school in fucking beginning of August. No.
The lying has already begun in this movie. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so yeah, and that's before we get the based on a true story thing, right?
Well, they starting now. That's what we.
Yes,
That's why we got
right.
it now.
All right, so we opened on one of them happening balls at BYU where all the kids were a-swinging.
Oh, damn. This is Noah and Lucinda's song, everybody.
All right, so... But our opening...
1953.
Yeah, our opening thought here is supposed to be, boy, do those Mormons know how to party, right?
Which, we should point out, literally the scene we see would not be allowed at Brigham Young University today.
Right.
Let alone in
No.
1953. You could not splay your legs and jump onto someone at a dance at BYU today, right now.
Yeah.
Also, let's keep in mind that 2/3 of everything we're looking at here was paid for by swindling old people out of their farm.
Right. Yeah,
Learned that
exactly.
the other day.
All right, so now we're focused on two characters at this dance party. One of them is the trumpet player who's on stage.
He's so mad.
The other is Anne fucking Hathaway.
And
What the fuck is she doing here?
this is the origins of Anne. This is like, she was in this movie before she was in her home movies. This is how early in Anne Hathaway's career this is.
Yeah. So, okay. So the Anne Hathaway is dancing with some dude. The trumpet player is super jealous. So eventually he just leaps off the stage, cuts into the dance, and starts dancing with Anne Hathaway instead.
And I didn't realize a tremendous amount of old-timey dancing was almost hurt you. Is that...
Oh, yeah.
That swing dancing is a lot of like a kick close to your face
Yeah.
and I throw you near this pit of spikes. There was lava at one point.
There was a lot of that. I also didn't know that Sonic the Hedgehog dance moves were a thing back then.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
You were just spinning around doing huge amounts of spinny flips and steam was rising up.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
nuts.
absolutely, man. And they have a whole choreographed cuckold dance, right, where the other guy who was dancing with her tries to keep getting back in, and it's a whole bit that they're doing.
Is that real? Because, like, if you get possession of a female during a dance battle, you win her. Is that...
I mean,
That is true at
this is
BYU
well, this
today.
is Mormonism in the 50s. You bet your ass it's true. You
BYU
grab her by the
1953,
hair.
that's, yeah, legally binding,
And
I would
yeah.
imagine.
All right.
At least it's in the honor code or something.
So he grabs Anne Hathaway by the hair and he drags her back to his cave to remind her who's boss, right? And she's just like, well, I do have a vagina, so you're in charge.
Yeah. She's like, so what am I supposed to do? Just wait for you because I'm your property? And the movie pauses and he's like, yes.
Why?
Yeah.
It seems like a weird question, but yes.
To which she responds, you incorrigible scallywag.
Yeah.
I did sign a contract that says that when I got into this college. No, it's true.
All right, so he's like, come on, I want to show you a creepy spot in the woods. So he takes her to this swing, because that's romantic, right? Swinging, it's romantic and wholesome.
Thank you. This is a weird romance trope. Like, why is this fine, but I set up Don't Wake Daddy for a few girls on a few dates, and I'm a weird guy? I get a reputation?
I feel like those are unrelated. A swing can be romantic, and your thing is also crazy.
Yeah,
right?
I
feel like the swing.
I think it needs to be more.
Well, I do. I've never
He's
tried
gonna
it on a
fuck
date.
you.
But so here's the thing, though. If Heath swung his girlfriend on a date, though, he'd be doing the underdog thing, like where you run underneath it and shit. And he'd be like, no, we're going to go all the way around. All right, now jump. Right? I jumped so much fucking farther than you. I fucking win. Look, see where my line is? You see where my footprints are?
How else would we know who wins?
There is a moment where they start swinging together, and I was like, Heat would way over swing and be like, come on! You're not even close to catching up.
Pull this thing out of the ground, God damn it.
By the way, I mean, yes, that's all true. But I feel like for kids anyway, this is a dangerous swing that goes out over a river. That seems like a bad engineering for a playground
off
swing.
Of that, and then you go and then you're in the water when you end. It's safer.
The whole scene, I was just like, bridge to Terabithia, come on. Swing death. No.
All right. All right, so they kiss. Mormon moms everywhere faint. But he's about to go on his mission trip, right? So he gives her the whole, wherever I am, we'll be under the same moon. And I'm like, well, no, you're in Tonga, really. So not at the same time or anything, but
all
whatever.
the scenes that we see of you guys looking at the moon are literally different.
Yeah, very different times. Okay.
It's daytime where she is.
You think that's a star.
With light that will go out.
Out.
And okay, so we cut to 3 months ahead of that when where he's getting his mission assignment. And this is where he learns that he's going to Tonga.
Yeah. Near Fiji, which is pretty sweet. I mean, it's going to be awkward when he breaks that to his friends, don't you think? So, John, where are they sending you?
Yeah, John, tell us.
Tonga.
Wow. Sounds like the heart of the African jungle or something like that.
No, it's near Fiji.
Oh, the island.
Islands, but yeah, no, that's it. Over there.
Right. Like one of the most beautiful places ever, right? That's great.
Yeah, people say it's nice.
Yeah, like really nice.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going, Nick?
Santiago.
Oh, that seems fun. You love Mexican food.
Nope, that's not where. Well, not really. I don't really like Mexican food. You actually know that. We've talked about this.
Spicy.
Yeah, well,
nonetheless,
I don't even know what kind of food they have in Tonga. So, boy, am I jealous of you guys.
Fuck your face.
Right. Will?
I'm going to Cleveland, man.
Oh, I hear they say that in Cleveland.
I hear they fuck your face. That's what I hear.
Yep.
Yeah, no, fuck my face. That's fair.
I heard fuck his face. Yep.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Tonga.
Fuck you.
Rats eat your feet in Cleveland, too. Well, and I love, too, like, his whole family standing around going like, oh, you'll love it in Tonga. They don't have education yet, so nobody will know you're full of shit.
All I wanted at this point is for him to show up in Tonga. He gets shot by 50 arrows right in the chest and credits. Best movie ever.
All right, so the whole family gathers at the train station to see him off. I want to point out Anne Hathaway is not there.
Does not show up because they paid for 2 Anne Hathaway scenes, damn it.
Yeah. The local newspaper is there, though.
Yep.
What the fuck does a local newspaper cover in Idaho Falls, Idaho during the Depression?
Kids leaving for their mission trips.
Yeah, right. No, we're way post-Depression now. We're in the 50s now.
Dirt, Continued on. No, we were done. It was just
there's no continue. All right. So he's about to leave for Tonga. They want his dad to give him to give a speech, right? So his dad stands up before the gathered crowd at the train station and said, "God gave the world his son. I'm going to do that now. I'm like God." Wait, this is not. I didn't know there was going to be a speech.
Let me try again. I don't care for the savages in Tonga. Kind of wish they weren't getting my son.
Oh, you're going to keep going with that? Do you want to try one more time?
No, that's final answer. Kind of wish they weren't. Yep.
Okay. So you remember Abraham and Isaac? It feels like that, but it's not a bluff. Like, just gut feeling, I think, stab him, right? Like, or send him to get stabbed. I just feel like that's what God's telling me.
Well, and speaking of getting stabbed, as he leaves, his mom basically hands him a knife and says, to stab yourself in the heart with this if you think you're going to come home early because you will not be fucking welcome here.
She says, "Don't come home, son." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "Early? Sorry." Weird pause.
I've been wanting to say that for a long time.
Let me try again. "Don't come home alive in the spirit of the Lord." I don't know. These pauses are weirding me out, Mom.
Fucking 19 of us, man. Just figure it out.
You've got a spare.
That'd be great.
All right. So then we get him traveling and we get a voiceover of his first letter to Jean. That's Anne Hathaway. And the letter starts off with like, "Gee, I couldn't help but notice that you weren't at the train station when I left, probably because you would have been such an emotional wreck to see me go, huh?"
It's great. But it's like how you never return my emails or text messages because you don't have the words.
We're going to different colleges, but we'll stay together. That always works.
Yeah.
That always works.
That's going to be great.
To the extreme. Okay, so he's telling her the story of how he's heading to Tonga. Now, originally it was with 7 Mormon missionaries, but those lucky bastards got to go on to Australia or some other non-shitty place. He wound up in Samoa, where the Mormons that were supposed to meet him forgot him for several days.
Right? And my version of an Australian accent threw his bag off the boat and made him literally walk the plank.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, so eventually he gets from Samoa to Fiji, and the Fijian authorities are like, "Nah, man, we don't have him on the list. We're going to arrest his ass if you put him here." And the guy's like, "Yeah, okay."
I don't really see how that's my problem. I'm going to literally push him off this boat.
Yep. So he gets tossed into a jail cell in Fiji with livestock. Yep. And I wrote in my notes, if he becomes that rooster's bitch, this will be my favorite movie.
I told you just got to ask them if it's because you fucked their dad, and they give right in. I'm just telling you. It's my new go-to for airport security.
All right, so he plays trumpet for the livestock.
He doesn't.
No. He touches the buttons.
He does.
If someone came and beat the crap out of him, it would have been such a great movie. It would have won me over.
A chicken calls him over. "Hey, just, work on your embouchure, man. Like, you got to do some fucking long tones, just basic scales. You're really not there yet with like the improv solos. None of that. Nope. You're not doing buttons yet. Okay. No buttons."
But eventually the Mormons do show up to get him, which is amazing that they kept all of this in the movie, right? Because he's like, "Yeah, the church sent me out to Tonga, kind of, generally. I had to work." Why put this in your... Why point out how criminally negligent you people are?
Yeah, well, so that's the thing, is when people recommended this movie, I was like, I sent out a little thing where I'm like, is it good for Mormon Movie Month? And everyone I know was like, no. When you go on a mission, this is your red badge of courage. Like, mom and dad sit you down and show you this movie, which is horrible. This would be like, all right, kiddo, we're about to go on the plane. Let's watch Alive. Like, wait. This movie takes on a whole new context when you realize its purpose.
Yes, right. No shit. So eventually, though, the missionaries in Fiji get him a job on a rig to Tonga. That's how he gets there. Right?
Yep.
So, okay. 48 days after arriving in Samoa, he finally gets to Tonga, where the movie should have started.
Yep.
But there was nobody there to meet him in Tonga either. Eventually, a Mormon showed up, I guess.
He's like, nobody was there to meet me, but I was a white guy, so someone eventually found me. This movie takes a while to get going. Give it a second. Give it
way more than a second.
2 hours.
The entire runtime.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, yes, but the Mormon president guy shows up. And he's like, I'm going to send you to a place where nobody speaks any English and you don't speak their language at all. Good luck.
Right. And the character's like, oh, is there going to be anything to help me or a way that I can? He's like,
bye.
No, I got you a magical Polynesian.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. And this is where we meet Fekete. And Fekete, I loved right away because when we first meet him, he's at the top of this tower that they're constructing, and he just jumps off and he parkours his way down a tree. And I'm like, Fekete's too good for this movie.
Yep. Yeah. And then he gets a big old sniff of him.
He smells the dude enthusiastically, the main character, John.
And all I could think about was like, when the book that this movie's based on came out, do you think Fekete, who lived in the United States at that point, called John and was like, hey, man, why'd you add a weird lie about me smelling you when we met? And he was like, because you're Polynesian. Is that weird? Did I make it weird? You would have, right? I always got the feeling that you were like into scents.
I cut out the part where you jumped on that tree and just fell on your face, and we're just like, ow, for a while. That was a while.
You knocked the wind out of yourself.
You wept a lot. You did that, ooh, ooh. You did the vomit noise, the thing, and you vomited a lot. We cut that whole thing.
And this is also where Fekete gives him his nickname that'll stick through this entire movie. Fekete calls him Kolipoki.
Mm-hmm.
That, by the way, means the other side of heaven. The movie will never tell you that.
That
really?
Answered 2 of my questions about this movie. 1, why is it called The Other Side of Heaven? And 2, why do they call him Kolipoki?
Yep,
interesting.
As far as I can tell, anyway. And again, that's coming from the same asshole who wrote the book. And we're going to see how trustworthy he was. He doesn't even know what days he went to school in Idaho Falls. So
they nicknamed him the nice white part.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. No, I feel like it was like the other side from the Catholic side, or I don't know. All right. But anyway, so from there, he had to spend 8 days on a boat getting to the particular Tongan island he was going to. I've been practicing the pronunciation. I believe it is Niuataputapu.
All right.
Sure.
He says, the hardest part of my trip was a very rough boat ride to Niuataputapu. And I'm like, then why the fuck am I watching a movie about this trip? The hardest part was seasickness?
I wrote, there's an hour and 40 minutes left in this movie. I really hope that's not true.
All right, but eventually he gets to this idyllic island paradise and sets about fucking it all up.
Yeah, and there's a welcoming party, like ready on the show. How did they time the welcoming party? Like a message in a bottle? Like, hey guys, be there around 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Call it 1:30 to be safe. I want you to be on the beach.
Yeah, and then so he shows up on this island to the welcoming party and apparently has already forgotten that they don't speak English.
Yeah, he goes right up to the guy he thinks is the leader of the island. He's like, hello, I'm here to make you better. And the guy's just like, fuck your face in Tongan. He has to run away. It's the best.
Yeah. So they all laugh at him for being a useless Caucasian. He doesn't seem particularly impressed with them either, to be honest.
Yeah, they both simultaneously realize what a mistake this is, the scene, right? They're like, oh, you just brought you. And he's like, oh, I'm here to rescue you.
From yourself.
A crate of water filtration technology would have been like way better than me, huh?
Come on. And lighter.
I'm the best we breed. It's right in the punch. Just come on, man. Rudyard Kipling.
All right, so then we cut to him being terrified by their local customs.
Right, and the movie wants this to be a comedy beat, but like, it's not. Like, you could shoot a fucking bar mitzvah like this, and there would be nobody putting their mouth on a dick at any point in a Tongan ceremony, so,
Wait, if they're not supposed to do that at the bar mitzvah, Eli, you've been lied to.
Speak.
That's the bris, man.
Check your privilege.
You got blown at your bar mitzvah?
That was the theme.
That'll do it.
Well, so here's how you make this a comedy beat is you make this the first time the tribe's ever done anything like this, right? They're fucking with the white guy. They're like, no, we all piss on you as a shut up, as a sign of respect in our cultural traditions.
Well, they kind of do that. They're like, here you go. Drink this. It is not pee. And everybody's fucking laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, okay, well, now I feel like it is pee. You said specifically it's not. Okay.
Well, then he goes like, I can't feel my tongue. And I'm like, oh my God, they gave him a Tongan rape drug. This is amazing. I love this. But then the chief guy stands up and he's like, this Mormon has come a long way to tell us something. I suppose he should tell us something, huh? And he's like, oh, words. Shit.
Whoa.
I need to pee.
You guys,
because I drank pee.
You guys like shadow puppets? Little bunny foo, walking through, don't interrupt, forest.
I just love, he spent like 3 months just getting to this island and they're like, all right, finally you have the entire tribe. You can say what you want. And he gets up and he's like, I don't know, man. Like, what have you been doing this whole fucking time?
I like parts of
Yeah, but he actually tells him that he has to pee because it's like Eli the missionary.
They all gather around and open their mouths. He starts peeing. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's a joke, man. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how you people work.
So
you're
so
sorry.
Confused. He's smiling. The one guy, okay.
This guy fucking
what to
gets
do
it.
now.
He knows how to party.
All right. So the next day, and then we get him taking a bath and all the children come running to see the white man penis, I guess.
The prank is they all just run and look at him in the bath and they're like, blah, 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 blah. And it immediately it fades out and it starts a letter. And I wanted it so badly to just be like, Dear Gene, I got raped a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah, but no, he's writing this letter to Gene. And he's like, yeah, they're all a bunch of inbreds and they don't want to be Mormon. And while he's writing that, or while we're hearing that voiceover, we're getting a montage of him striking out with the Tongans.
Yeah. I mean, he's like talking about how there are insects everywhere who carry elephantitis.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but enough about me. How are finals? Those can be tough. Gotta thoroughly fill in those bubbles on the Scantron. Please don't marry anyone but me.
Yep.
Love.
Coley Pokey.
Okay.
And also throughout all of this, we're supposed to be having a comedic moment with the skeeters, right? The mosquitoes are bothering him real bad. But what it actually works out to is just a guy walking around slapping himself in the face I'm making it sound funny. It's not. It isn't. Nope. It doesn't work.
Start hitting yourself the comedy beat.
Yeah.
At some point, they were like, hey, we really need to punch up this script. And somebody was like, mosquitoes. Nailed it.
Yep.
And they were like, yep, you're done.
That's good 9 minutes right there. All right. So next scene, Fekete comes to tell him that he has to give a speech to the entire village, but he still doesn't speak the language. He's going to try anyway again.
Yep.
I don't know. So he tries out his Tongan, and they have this, again, like, desperate comedy beat where he's accidentally using the word outhouse.
Outhouses!
They actually say, oh, you didn't learn any Tongan for this. That's weird. Okay, I guess we'll pray for you to learn Tongan. And then the next day he has to give the speech. And I really wanted to see like an hour-long speech of him just being like, well, they prayed. Noises, Tongan.
She just starts talking in tongues like a Baptist or something.
Bugga. Am I doing it?
It's like me and Eli in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have yelled bugga at that.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That noise was
on
obvious.
us.
I told you that wasn't Japanese sound.
Didn't understand our apology either, so I feel like it was sort of lost on him.
Well, you made the same noise for the apology, I feel like.
All right, so he's giving his speech in broken Tongan, and they're all laughing at him because he says that he wants them to serve in God's outhouse. And then they call him Elder Outhouse in English because those are the two English words they know, I guess. So he goes off to sulk, right? He goes to his sulking island where he's going to learn Tongan by reading an English Bible and a Tongan Bible side by side in the sun with no shade for days.
Can you not learn languages in the shade with water? Also, I don't think that's how learning languages works.
And not if you want to do it effectively, no.
Yeah. Like, he better hope that Tongan has the exact same sentence structure as English.
And he better hope that, like, tomorrow, all he has to do is talk about inventing a universe in Tongan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Back and forth here. And he better hope everything else he has to say is also in the Bible. Just like, smash your baby against some rocks is the other thing I learned to say.
Does anybody need me to call something good? No? Okay.
All right. So, and then, but the key though here is that we have to learn that the Tongans are super impressed with the white man's dedication to learning their language, which any sane person would have done before going to their country.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is supposed to be you can tell that the guy who wrote this book and that this movie is based on was like, I just sat there working, didn't eat, didn't sleep, just focusing. But like, the actors in the movie are just like, hey, I think Coley Pokey's having a psychotic break. You wanna check on him? Or
maybe put an umbrella up there. I mean, I figure by the end of the montage, you'd be sunburned to the point of an honorary Chernobyl extra.
Punch him a little.
Something.
Should we tell him that's the shit pile island? Because he's right on the shit pile. And he's just staying there. He seems into it.
That's why they're sniffing him all the time. Yeah.
He's very focused.
All right.
Also, did he not seem distracted by the voiceover that was happening? Like the actor, he's like they were playing Anne Hathaway for him, because it seemed like he was like, just shut up, Anne Hathaway. I'm trying to learn how to kill gay people in Tongan. Like, stop it.
All right. So then eventually, though, he falls asleep. We get Fekete waking him up in the sand, and now he speaks perfect Tongan. So they go out to missionary some more.
What? Including the word hey, which we all know is in the Bible, the expression hey.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing rhyming slang in Tongan.
Yeah. And Moses said, hey, Aaron, come on, man.
Yeah, right.
Dear Gene, feels like I should have learned the language before I left, but I did a montage.
Oh, yeah, no worries. And it's going so much better now that I'm not just basically saying potato, potato, potato at them. It's amazing how much difference that makes. So, yeah. And then we get some chasing chickens and pigs humor while he gets his new house.
Oh, he says that they had to chase out the previous occupants, and it's pigs. Mm-hmm. And I was so team pig.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hashtag team pig 5 ever.
By the way, this entire scene is straight from a stage of Angry Birds. It's almost indistinguishable. It's like a stick house with weird
it is.
Poles holding up.
And they're trying to get the pigs out. Yeah.
Birds and pigs. That's it.
All right. So then late some night, I guess, he awakens to the sounds of mournful wailing.
Yeah. He turns to Becky and he's like, Did a Death Star blow up a planet? I'm feeling like a Death Star blew up a planet.
Right. But Becky's like, no. That's the cry of death. We have cries for all different stuff.
You can tell from a distance why people are crying. So yeah, Coley Pokey walks through to the funeral that they're doing, and he's like, well, you guys are fucking this all up. This isn't how you get him to collab. Come on. So he kneels before the body, and he's just about to do his proper white person prayer, but some savage pushes him away and does savage stuff instead.
He gets side tackled by this large, full-bodied woman, and it's the best moment in the movie. This actor hurt him very badly. Like, you could see he has a different beard, like everyone's wearing different clothes in the next scene because he recovered in the hospital for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
It's so violent. She's so much more powerful than him. It's the best.
Yeah, so she throws him off of the body, wails over the body for a second, falls over and asks if the pudding is ready because humor.
I like their funeral tradition. It's like a weird specific crying and then a side tackle and then pudding. Like that's fun.
Seems fun day. More fun than most funerals. So yeah, but then the next day they have to have a scene where like Fekete explains what the fuck was going on in that last scene, and he explains that the lady that side tackled him was a professional mourner that Tongans hire to come in and cry for their relatives. I want that job so goddamn bad.
I want to see that interview, right? Where she's just like, and it's like, okay, well, we have your resume.
Yeah, that didn't sound like the cry of death. That sounded like the cry of a fender bender.
That was a stub your toe. We all know that was a stub your toe. Maybe branch out a little bit. Make a choice and stick with it.
Yeah, and also there's a great conversation here where like where Coley Pokey turns to Fekete and he's like, "Hey man, why do you believe anything I say?"
Yeah, and his response is, I mean, you wouldn't travel all this way for a lie, right?
Yeah.
And in his defense, he's just like, I sure wouldn't.
A mistake, maybe. No.
Do you have some personal experience with human kindness that you associate with my religion?
I sure do.
We could talk about.
I sure do.
Good. Let's talk about
that. Can you see me? Am I disappearing? Doodly-doo.
Yeah, so then Fekete adds, he's like, well, when I was a kid, my dad was an abusive drunk, and then some missionaries came along, and around that same time, he quit drinking. Therefore, one caused the other, and Mormonism cured my dad's alcoholism.
Yeah, so whenever I thought about my dad, I'm just like, hurrah for Israel. And he's like, sorry, what? Hurrah. He said hurrah? Hurrah.
Hurrah? And also, okay, you're saying your dad doesn't drink anymore, and that's why you're pro-Israel right now? Because, I mean, yeah, it's like 5 years since they took over Palestine, but I'm confident this was a great idea. There'll be no problems. This is going to go great. No, you're right.
It's going to go
great. This is great.
Yeah. All right, so now we cut to 6 months later. And by the way, at this point, even the subtitles are getting bored because it doesn't say 6 months on the island. It just says 6 months on the island. And Dave's like, if you want a fucking article, you can put it on a goddamn article on 6 months.
That's so
island.
weird. I think it's supposed to be like native speak, like, 6 months on island. And it's like, no,
God.
this whole movie reeks with like the noble savage moments. And the subtitles, which do this multiple times, are among the worst.
But not all the way noble. That's why we're here.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that and because our magic can save their children. So this is
what's about to happen.
Yeah, this dude comes running at him with a limp child. Eli is booking his flight to Tonga. He's like, hey, man, this kid fell and bonked his head. Can you bring him back to life with your white people magic?
Come on. You promised to take up this burden. This is exactly what you were talking about. But he's like, no, I cannot, because he's dead.
Right, and he's like, well, but can't you put some bellows in his mouth and you push down on him and maybe he's mostly dead? There's a thing that you white people do. I've seen it. Is that
side tackled by the giant lady?
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, well, I'll give a try to bringing your child back to life.
All right, here we go. Mormon.
Tell me, does a very slow back massage have any medical benefit? Oh, it does. All right. Well, good. Then absolutely. I am. What I'm gonna do.
Okay, so I had to look this up because it was so goddamn weird, and I remembered it from the Flintstones. But he's like pushing on the kid's back, going, "Out goes the bad air, in comes the good." Apparently, that's how they used to tell you to do artificial respiration. And they would tell you to use that phrase, out goes the bad air, in comes the good, as a way of timing the breath.
And there's a silent clip of it on YouTube, which is amazing because it's two guys, both of whom are dressed in wrestling onesies.
Yes. I saw it too, Eli.
Rubbing each other.
It's...
And looking that up.
Yeah, right
now.
All right. So he does artificial respiration for what the fucking movie would have us believe is 31 hours or something. I don't think it works like that. At a certain point, you're just pushing a child corpse around.
Believe me, at a certain point, you are just pushing a child corpse around.
So, but yeah, we get this so long that the grieving dad actually has time to sing a whole song and then look at the camera and go like, that's the only one I practiced. Do you want another? Are we
with double snot rivulets?
Yes, the whole time.
Like your friend's toddler who you don't want to touch. The sing along.
Yeah.
But the kid wakes up.
Yep.
So the song or the 48 hours of CPR did it. One or the other. Yep. And the kid speaks English now.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bump on the head.
English. Just immediately. Like, I guarantee you, first draft of this script, he turned white also.
And delights them.
So the movie pulls a switch here, right? From this point on, you know, the people are supposed to be speaking in Tongan, but we're hearing it in English and everything. But the movie doesn't really let you in on that twist until this kid wakes up. So, okay, so he writes to Gene again, and he's like, hey, now that I'm known as a healer, I'm way more popular. And again, I'm like, why the fuck do you admit that in your movie, right? So the entire history of missionaries in the Pacific Islands or in Africa, virtually anywhere that Christian missionaries went outside of the European world is, yes, we were right about the CPR and penicillin, so we must be right about the God too, right? And again, like, we know that, but why admit that in your movie?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But he writes her a letter, and he's like, Dear Gene, I'm a necromancer. No big deal. Yeah.
Our finals.
I might be the Messiah. I really might be. I don't know.
Don't marry anyone but me.
Child.
Don't, yeah.
I know I say this in all my letters, but don't marry anyone but me.
It's super flirty how you never write me back. It's awesome. But
we should point out that a pedophile keeps riding by on a bike. About 9/10 of the way through the movie, we'll learn why, and then it won't matter. But the general guy...
Oh, shit, that's right.
Keeps riding by with young girls on a bike. We're not going to address this until we're 9/10 into the movie and then never, ever address it again. But, you know, we don't want you wondering where the pedophile on a bike was in the movie when we set it up later. So, yeah.
I did not notice this at all. So, yeah, I know the part that you get the reveal you're talking about, but I did not notice him before that.
I just thought it was like a father-daughter, and they had to tie up that loose end? What the fuck? That's not loose. Just leave it.
Father-daughter.
Fuck.
All right, so now we get the part where he wakes up, and something's wrong with his feet.
Oh, this.
Rats.
He slept with his feet uncovered, and so the rats came and ate the soles of his feet.
Yeah. Well, at least the guy he was sleeping with warned him about the rats. Rachel he told him about that. He was like, hey, cover your feet at night because there are rats here and they'll eat your feet.
Yeah.
So it's a good warning to have.
I Googled this. This is real. But what was not found is how rats eat the bottom of your fucking feet without you noticing.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing that wake you up if you weren't Heath. I mean, I can see how Heath's entire feet could be stumps and shit. He'd wake up and go, fucking rats.
Oh, man.
Man, Upper East Side of Manhattan, just like Tonga. That's what happens. Totally get it.
So now they have to sear the bottoms of his feet with a knife or the sun?
Feels like those aren't equally... gonna do the thing that you want him to do just ever. I don't think a hot knife and the sun are like, there's no task that both of those accomplish equally in the universe.
So here's the thing though, what they basically said to him, and this is again just a hilarious moment of insight into the guy who wrote this. Basically the lady walks up and says, look, there are two ways we can deal with this. One is that I heat a knife up red hot and I just burn your feet and then you can recover from the burns. The other way is that you sit around for 5 days with your feet up in the air like an asshole getting sunburns on your feet to have the same effect, the same basic effect. And he chose the pansy ass sit around for 5 days version.
Yeah, because he's like a toddler who wants you to pull off a Band-Aid slow.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And you got to do that. And then the parent is like, no, you can't do the fast thing. And you're just like, I really want to do the fast thing. I'm going to trick your kid. No, we're gonna have you lie down. Yeah, don't look. I do not have a red hot knife right now. No, that's
that
sunburn.
Is the sun. That's the sun. It's a red hot knife shaped sun. Gets knifey this time of day. It's Tonga.
It's a Tongan thing. You said the moon was the same.
The
not
moon
the sun.
and the sun, and this is an eclipse. Don't worry about it. Just
All right. So we get a big long thing with them sunburning his feet and him recovering. Also, this is where we meet hot Polynesian girl 1, who doesn't want to play his stupid trumpet anyway.
Okay. So, this character's going to be problematic to say the least. He's like, so what's up with your daughter? And she's like, oh, she's not my daughter. Common question. Don't worry about it. She's actually the child of a whore. And that runs in the family. So
she sure could use some Mormonism.
And whores don't like trumpets. I don't understand why she doesn't like trumpets. I need you to answer the question.
Also, okay, and this is where the healer lady, who is the not mother of the whore's daughter that takes care of her, says, oh, by the way, the evil Catholic minister on the island told everybody that the rats came to eat your feet because your God doesn't exist. And I thought, wow, that's actually true. That is true. That is why.
You know what?
Yeah.
That is true.
So just a heads up, little thing. If your feet don't heal, like, right away, we're going to burn you at the stake for being the devil.
Yeah,
okay,
right. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, but so that's the challenge for him. Prove Mormonism is correct by your feet healing.
Right. And I just want to point out that, like, his last letter was, oh, Gene, how much I wish you could be here with me. I love you so, and I wish you could share these beautiful moments with me. And he starts another letter for this scene, and I wanted him to be like, Dear Gene, rats ate the bottom of my fucking feet. We are never coming back here. Ever. Ever. These people are the worst. It's a nightmare here.
So, all right. And then we get probably my favorite moment in the movie. This is the big moment where he has to prove that God has healed his feet. And
the magical feet unveiling that is a major plot point in this movie and point in favor of Mormonism. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Go ahead.
So like,
set the context.
They have this long moment, like the crippled kid is going to walk across the room at the end of the movie or something like that. And again, keep in mind that what this really is some dude who came back from Tonga telling his story going like, and my feet hurt real bad, y'all, real bad. Right? That's what we're watching.
Well, look, at some point, rats did something to the bottom of his feet, and he told someone, and they were like, huh, sounds bad. And he was like, huh, sounds bad? Fuck you, Alan. I had to do a walking ceremony to prove that Jesus is real.
All of Jesus was relying on my feet healing, okay? This shit matters.
I
took one step. This enormous woman side tackled me for the second time that week. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so he goes to walk and he falls at first, but his faith in God causes him to rise again. And then they all cheer for him. And Mormonism turns out to be the true religion because of his feet.
And by the way, there's another minister on this island, like a regular Christian minister, like Protestant or Catholic,
a Catholic
whatever.
One, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted him to just be like, come on, fuck that. Are you guys serious? Like, he just starts doing parkour. Like, look, my God just never had rats eat my feet in the first place. What are you all cheering for?
All right,
That's
but
nothing.
can your God make you do hopscotch? Because I can do hopscotch.
Well, let's murder another kid. There's no way he does 2 in a row. There's no way he revives 2 kids in a row. We're killing a kid right now.
All right, so now sometime later he goes to teach a Tongan family about Mormonism, but that evil Catholic priest told them that they can't learn about Mormonism anymore, but they're still allowed to eat with him.
Right. And he has to say grace, which is his clever way of teaching them the Mormonism plan. But I wanted so badly for him to just be like, oh, do you mind if I say grace? Okay, great. Dear Father, please forgive these jerk faces who are going to burn in hell forever, who might have gotten their own planet, or at least the soul in a few decades, but they won't. Amen. Please pass the glop.
Also, thank you for making our beautiful Mormon feet indestructible magically, unlike Catholic feet.
Reminder.
Right.
So, and we should also point out that this family, they also have themselves a hot Polynesian chick. The daughter of this family is very seriously digging on Elder Outhouse here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So him and Fekete burp on their way out because apparently it's polite in Tongan society to burp, and they fucking play that for every bit of humor you can get from a belch.
Can you believe it? By the way, one of the listeners who recommended this told me that the family, when she would watch this as a kid, would fast forward through the burping scenes. And like when she was a teenager, her dad would let her watch the burping scenes. But they had to talk like you're watching 9.5 weeks and someone has to pause it and have a talk with you first.
And they're like, no, we read on dove.org that there was mild burping. We will be fast forwarding through that.
Amazing. I'm sorry, I need a second.
Just imagine that. Because look, we all had our dad fast forward through a sex scene.
I've met Mormons. That doesn't really surprise me.
No, they fast forwarded through the burping scene for her.
You guys are so stupid. Mormonism is so dumb. You guys are dumb.
It's a weird religion. Like, we spend a lot of time with religions, and you guys weird us out.
So
that's why you get your own month.
So after that racy burping scene, they're on their way home, and they wander into a Douglas Fairbanks safari flick or something. Yeah. A bunch of evil savages just surround them like Indiana Jones opened the tomb.
And he's just like, Lamanites! Shoots them all. Stop resisting. No. But he gets saved by the giant drunk guy.
Yeah,
Tomasi.
Tomasi. He's a good guy, right? Yeah.
Right. Who luckily has a mercenary doodly-doo.
Yeah, he shows up right about the time this big gang of people is going to beat him up. And he says, no, you can't beat him up. I am the largest person here. And so they don't. So they walk him back, and they're like, hey, why'd you help us? And he says, well, because when I was an orphan, Mormon missionaries took care of me, so I'm a Mormon.
That's literally their words, exactly. That we took care of you, so now you're a Mormon.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Didn't we teach you to stop drinking or just not as a child? Did we tell you
apparently
the policy on drinking?
Did that not take?
He's like, well, actually, faith-based addiction programs are way less effective. So here I am.
All right, but he also reveals here that the evil Catholic minister told his congregants to beat up the Mormons. That's why they were about to get attacked.
Yeah.
So that's important. We'll come back to that. Okay. So now he's been 1 year on island.
And again, so weird, but this is the weirdest story for a lot of reasons, but this is both in the book and in the movie. And think about the bananas in pajamas level of racism and sexism required to include this in your book and movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So he's going on a picnic with that family before that he wasn't allowed to teach Mormonism to anymore. And on the way, hot Polynesian chick number 2, who never gets a name in the movie, wants to seduce him. Right? But
yeah. Yep. She uses a pretty sweet move, I thought.
It was quite direct.
This was pretty smooth. She's just like, oh, I hurt my ankle. Take a look. And my vagina. Look at both.
Yeah.
You're down there. It's pretty smooth. That's a good move.
Yeah. Yeah. So she gets him off by himself, and she just strips naked, and she says, like, how about we fuck?
And he says, do you want to go to the beach and talk about Jesus?
He can't turn off his Mormonism even in the light of boobs. Yeah.
Everyone just stops being Mormon there and credits. Again, that would have been a great. There's so many spots they could have just ended this movie, and it would have been so much
she
better.
drops her clothes, and he's just like, nice credits.
Yeah.
John was never heard from again.
But
he's
again,
just like, I'm gay and I'm going to get disowned by my parents. Credits. Like, there's a lot of honest scenarios too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the real key to this. Again, this is his recollection of this story, right? So, like, in the middle of his book, he's like, and then you're like, oh, yet another gorgeous woman was throwing her clothes off, trying to have sex with me, like they all did the whole time I was there in Tonga.
And I wanted to.
Having a great time. I knew how that worked at the time.
I did.
All
I would have
right.
put my Venus right in her book blina.
Swing set.
Sorry. I don't know how this worked. My parents fast forward through all the burping scenes. I don't know
She'd
how.
make her fingers into a circle, and I'd poke in the circle.
with my finger.
And then I'm allowed
finger.
to punch her in the shoulder twice, but you have to wipe it. Right? And then we fucked.
So now Kolipoki and Fekete, they're going to take Tomasi to church, the big guy from earlier. So we get a Pretty Woman montage where they give Tomasi a makeover.
Yep.
And luckily they had a size 9X white button down handy.
Look, we don't have any mosquito nets for you, but just in case you convert anyone between 300 and 500 pounds, here is a circus tent shaped like a shirt.
Yep. Oh, and then we get the scene. So they dress up Tomasi. He's church ready. And then we get the scene where the girl that he didn't fuck's mom is mad at him for not fucking her daughter.
Best.
Oh, and he's like, hey, I can't help but notice you gave me a smaller portion of leaf glop than usual. Are you mad that I didn't fuck your daughter? Be honest.
She's just slamming shit around the kitchen. I gotta say, this movie's selling me on Tonga more than Mormonism, and that's with full knowledge that Mormons won't eat the soles of my feet. So
Yeah, mom's super mad. She's like, seriously, why didn't you fuck my daughter? Are you kidding me? She's so hot. And he's like, yeah, so seriously, kind of got fucked on that scoop of pudding. Let me get a real scoop. We can talk. I don't know. But she wants a half-white baby, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what she says?
Yes. How fucking terrifying is that? She's like, well, you don't have to marry her. Just impregnate her with a half-white baby so that our station in life can be exponentially improved.
Right. To which his response is, you stupid savage.
Yep.
No. The most important part of your daughter, literally, almost literal quote, the most beautiful part of her is her hymen.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, 0.5 rounds down on being white. Yeah. So does 0.9.
We got you back again.
Yeah. But yeah, they want a mixed race baby. Like they want an Instagram star. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
But he's like,
those are attractive babies. Mixed race babies are fucking hot.
I'm glad we know which babies you think are hot.
Can I walk back hot? I feel like I said that weird.
I would love for you to deliver
aesthetically pleasing for a baby in the way that babies are.
Which races do you prefer in babies?
All of them not white. None. Damn it. You go. What's the next scene?
I'll go.
What was the next scene? And then
Keith, let me give you some feedback as Eli Bosnick. You're going a little far with the baby attractiveness stuff.
But eventually, Kolipoki manages to defuse the entire thing with the mom by showing her a picture of how much hotter Anne Hathaway is than her daughter.
I wanted so badly for her to be like, dude, that's Anne Hathaway. You're not fooling me. That's fucking Anne Hathaway. I've seen Princess Diaries. This is Tonga, not the fucking moon. That's Anne Hathaway. No.
That's not your girlfriend. No, she lives in Canada.
And I love how this is his excuse. He's like, yeah, I can't share my cum until I'm done being a missionary. And then really I have Anne Hathaway. And then, well, okay, it's weird how I phrased that. Stop asking me to share my cum.
And confusing. I think I can say pretty fairly, this scene would have a vastly different ending if it were us.
Oh, Kolihithi, why will you not lay with my daughter?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think she's, like, interested in that?
She took off all her clothes in front of you and asked you to...
Right. No, yeah. She did that, but it's hot here, like, temperature-wise, so,
but,
you know.
Okay, I will say, yes, she wants to have sex with you, Kolihithi.
Does she?
Yes.
But does she?
Koli Noah, why will you not have sex with
ahead of you.
Oh. Cool.
Koli Eli, stay the fuck away from my daughter.
What? All I suggested
I know what you suggested, you savage.
Okay. Rude. Also. Come on.
All right, so
I suggested. All right, fine. I don't want to get into it.
All right, so Then we get a scene where
She had more pudding, I mean.
where Coley Pokey and Fekete are watching some dude spearfish when he accidentally chops his own foot off, or like he's angry at it. I don't know what they were going for.
Whatever this scene was going for, he's just like fishing with a knife. Oh,
He's
Just
like,
fishing with my machete, swinging this wildly. Oh my God, this did not work out well. Yeah. I did not anticipate that.
Yeah, this movie's like, shit, it's been like 25 minutes since we've done a good foot wound, guys. Do you want to, let's zhuzh it up.
yeah. My note on this scene is, today I learned my wife is at least part Tongan.
All right. So now, this is some fucked up shit. Everybody runs to see this beautiful boat that just showed up. And it turns out it's a pimp wanting to whore off some of the Tongan daughters.
Yeah, I don't like how this is all presented. It's fucking, we don't know that right away, so all we see is a boat with Heath and cases of whiskey. So it's just like, oh, look, Heath and some drinks. That'll be nice. Nope, it's Nazi slave traders.
Yep.
Again, I'm Nazi slave traders again. This keeps happening in movies.
Which, by the way, the moral of this scene is that, the daughter who he didn't fuck, she's going to get baptized. And then the daughter of the prostitute, she's going to go be a sex slave. And so the moral of this scene is, non-Mormons deserve to be sex slaves.
Pretty much. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is a horrifyingly ugly beat in an already pretty ugly movie. I gotta tell you,
well, okay, and then we get what should have been and could have been a gorgeous scene, honestly, right? Like, because the filmmakers were talented enough in this movie to make a gorgeous scene, right? The cinematography was good, the lighting was good, costuming, all of that stuff was right in this movie. It was actually a fairly high budget flick compared to what we normally get out of Mormonism. But they get this scene, which is supposed to be a parallel edit of Hot Polynesian Girl number 2 getting baptized into Mormonism, while Hot Polynesian Girl 1 is being baptized into D's nuts, right? Which could be a beautiful scene, except that it's a Mormon scene. So the most we can see of the prostitute girl is her moving back towards a door with an older man.
yeah.
Right? So we have that one scene in the middle and they can't do anything else.
And then the girl who's still on the island getting baptized just being like, Mormonism's the best. I am not getting raped by a Nazi at all right now.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Again, the movie is very clear here. Like, look, we all know who's to blame here for this girl being sexually trafficked. That's right. Her. She's to blame.
Absolutely. Yes. This girl had two choices, prostitution or Mormonism. She chose poorly.
She chose not Mormonism. So.
Yeah. By the way, does this feel like an efficient system for getting prostitutes? For they take a boat to a super remote island and they get 3. This took them like 8 days minimum from the last tiny island that they were at, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like make it more efficient. I feel like that's what it sounds like now. I'm trying to like.
Does sound like that. Can I give you some feedback?
All right.
You're not making it better. All right. Well, since
why do you have all these charts in your notes?
Unrelated? Can I make an unrelated observance of what was happening here?
Sure.
I did enjoy the kids who were just like playing in the water throughout this whole scene. Because like it's like, super tragic, and we're seeing like human trafficking happen, and there's 5 or 6 kids just being like, wee, splash, splash.
There are 5 kids playing chicken in the back of this human trafficking scene.
Yes.
It's distracting.
Yeah. All right. Well, since the hard right turn the dramatic flavor of this film just took knocked over all the shit on my desk, I guess we've got to pause for a minute. But first, I'm going to give Act 3 the hard sell here. Can Coley Pokey turn these savages white and delightsome? Will Mormon God protect them from the savage vicissitudes of the ocean? What would it take to get the documents that definitely exist of the conversations old white men were having at this time in Salt Lake City about how black Polynesian was? Find out the answers to whatever questions they think they're asking, I guess, when we return for the exhilaratingly scored conclusion of The Other Side of Heaven.
The answer to that third question is all the way.
And so then I said, how can I have a seat outside the plane?
Ugh, sounds rough.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's over. At least we don't have any more travel.
Hey, podcast listener.
Damn it.
Do you like god-awful movies? Then come on down to God Awful Movies in Virginia Beach on July 27th, live and in person.
Hello, operator?
That was a person. We'll be breaking down Christian movies with costumes, merch, and visual bits you can't see. That was a visual bit you couldn't see. God Awful Movies live in Virginia Beach on July 27th. If you don't come, we'll eat your shit.
We'll eat your shit?
That's what he said.
Okay. Okay, so why do you trust me so much?
Well, Kolimoki, I figure you wouldn't travel all this way.
One second. Yeah, no, you just got it. You got a mosquito right there.
Oh, do it? Thanks.
Got it. Yeah.
No, I figure you wouldn't travel all this way for a lie, right, Kolimoki?
Right. I would not. I would not do that. But other missionaries have come here also, right?
Sure they have, Kolimoki.
And they disagree with me on some stuff, which means that
one of you is wrong.
Right, at least one of us is wrong, actually. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's true, isn't it?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, really sorry.
I'm just sort of like getting this.
No.
I have spent
take a second.
So much time on this.
You really did, just a lot. I know, it's like your whole thing.
Basically a slave, Kolimoki.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
And you could just like be wrong. Like wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I could absolutely be wrong. I don't think I am, though.
Oh, good. You don't think so. That's good. Fuck. Oh.
It's time. Are you mad?
Fuck.
You're mad.
Fuck.
You're very angry.
So much white.
You want to sniff me again?
We're a lot of white.
I smell good.
And we're back for more of this shit. When we last left off, some dude chopped off his foot out of spite, and all the pretty girls sold their bodies for a case of rum. And just in case you weren't getting the whole dark turn thing, we're going to rejoin the action with Foot Choppy Guy in full-blown death seizures.
Yeah, and he shows up and he's like, don't worry, I know what you want, because I'm obviously the guy that healed a child earlier in the movie. Would you like us to switch his religion real quick?
Yep.
And the guy's like, nope, not what I wanted.
Yeah, the Catholic minister gets mad, and then John, the Mormon missionary, is like, come on, man, he's dying. A blessing could only help. Just let me try my Mormon magic thing. And you can see in the minister's eyes, he's just like, come on, man, we both know we're both lying. We both know. I know you're a liar. You know I'm a liar. Don't
make this
blow
tough.
up our spots. Come on.
Yeah, so he bends over. They won't let him bless the guy, so then he bends over the dying guy, and he's like, well, I guess go towards the fucking light then. Nothing else I can do. I guess I can baptize you after you die.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
I wanted the rest of the movie to be a foot magic tournament between the two religions. Just fixing stuff. Not at all. Yeah.
So the guy dies, and then Kolipoki starts crying way too much, right? Like he should not be visibly more shaken than this man's family.
Hey man, just dial it back a little bit. You're going way over the top. Well, I'm looking to be a professional mourner.
Right.
I was going to say, professional mourner lady turns to the person next to him.
Flying tackle.
Asshole.
Child stealer.
Amateur. You can't start that bake. He's going to tire himself out.
Yeah. All right. So that night, he's on a beach being sad with Fekete, and Fekete realizes that a really bad storm is coming. Right?
Also, Act 3. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, so they rush to a shelter, but there's a little girl out in the storm. They must rip off Karate Kid 2.
Oh my God. That's exactly my notes here too. This is directly stolen from Karate Kid 2. Like, they might as well run into Ralph Macchio out there in the storm.
He's like, are you looking for a little girl? Different little girl. Mine's up on a bell.
Sweep the leg, right? Also, love your work.
Was there a reason established why they go out and look for this girl instead of the child's parents?
Nope.
No.
Okay, because they get into the little shelter thing and the dad's like, my daughter's out there. And he's like, I'm sorry, you said your daughter, right?
Do you want me to get out of the way of the stairs? Is that what you're asking?
I guess we're ripping off Karate Kid 2 then. I'll go.
Also, I want to point out, and I alluded to this a little bit as we were going to the interstitial, but the scoring in this movie, it's not particularly good. It's like, it's entirely unoriginal, but it's super effective. Right, so in this dumb fucking Karate Kid 2 ripoff scene, I was kind of on the edge of my seat, but I would have been more so if my eyes were closed. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can tell that like a not super talented composer kept getting told to make it more Hans Zimmer-y.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but you could tell the other actors were being told, see if you can do it not super talented. That'd be great.
Yeah. All right, so the next morning, everybody climbs out of the storm shelter and discovers that the island has been devastated by a hurricane because there is no God or he hates these people. So everybody's pretty bummed, except the one dog who is stoked he's going to be eaten well.
There's a dog!
Free fish!
Did the dog get like blown onto the island with the storm? How does that happen?
Well, no, its owner went on to the land of Oz, you see. Yeah.
But they're like, Mormon white guy, what's happening here? Any chance you guys are burning too many fossil fuels over there? Or it's a lot of weather popping up recently.
Yeah, but Kolipoki and Fekete run to check on the old guy that's from Matrix 2 that's there. That guy.
Oh, he's the guy
Yeah.
who got killed in the mech suit?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
What?
Yep. So then a government minister shows up to the devastated island and tells him to rub some dirt in it, right?
Who is also the pedophile bicycle.
Yeah.
Again, this doesn't matter except the movie's going to surprise us with it in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently it mattered way more to Eli than it did to us. So he's like, don't worry. We'll be fine. There's a boat that's going to show up in a couple of weeks. You probably won't starve to death before then. Quit your bitching.
Yep. And then they're like, Catholic minister, could you lead us in a prayer? And just, maybe a little preventative stuff in this one. I mean, it seems like you don't really, think ahead. This keeps happening. Maybe block the whole storm. Just saying.
Yeah. So they're gathering up fruit and they're rebuilding the village or whatever. But Fekete needs Kolipoki to run over here to where there's another scene. Apparently, hot Polynesian sex slave girl washed up on the beach during the storm?
Yep.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, she was in the middle of being sex trafficked, and then that tsunami showed up, and Mormon God, who allowed her to be sex trafficked, was like, well, I don't want her to drown.
Let's give her another shot here, I guess.
Let me deliver her back to her island, which is pretty ironic when you think about it. Right? Because I destroyed that case of rum that she traded herself for. So now she's just back on the island. I am a card.
Come on. Laugh it up. Come on. Yeah. And then they thank him. They thank Mormon God.
Yep.
Or they thank whatever God they think did this. They're just like, yeah, thanks for sending the storm to save our daughter from human trafficking. Hate to give you notes, but maybe just hit the Nazi slave ship, just them right away the next time before this.
A shark?
Just remember what I was saying before?
Big angry shark could have done it. Yeah, and so then we get a scene where Kolipoki and Fekete are sitting around hoping not to starve, I guess. It's been 4 weeks and the boat that was supposed to be there 2 weeks ago still hasn't arrived.
Yeah, and they're doing the I cut, you choose thing. And audience, if I can give you any advice, do not do this with Heath. He gets a scale out. It's a whole thing. Just
this one weighs more, but the volume is larger.
Yeah, he gets into a whole... Yeah. He saturates both pieces of food with water to make sure volumetrically he's getting a fair... It's a whole thing.
So I often use a calorimeter. I like to track.
So, and also, I want to point out, again... it is damn near criminally negligent for the Mormon church to have sent this kid to this island in the first fucking place, right?
And this is a get ready for your big mission trip, kiddo movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, go have your feet eaten by rats and almost starve to death on some tropical shithole. Yeah.
Why did the rats stay with the feet, by the way? Why wouldn't they just start eating like your calf also?
Right?
What?
Yeah, seems like that could also work. All right, so now we cut to, it's been 6 weeks since the hurricane, and Anne Hathaway's pretty pissed that he hasn't written in 6 fucking weeks.
I love that they overcut devastation and starvation with, it's fine, don't write me a letter.
Passive-aggressive note writing.
Right.
I might die soon from starvation. Wish you were here, love, John. Wait, sorry, P.S. That sounded weird. I want to hold hands while we die of starvation together.
Well, no,
Love,
I wish you were here with crackers and cheese whiz is what I meant to say.
And avocado toast.
That would be good.
That was nice.
Yeah.
A little salt on
or
it.
you could die over there kind of soon, and I'll meet you in heaven. That works for me also. Want to say a week?
I don't know what direction heaven is in, so you might want to delay it because I
want to say up.
And now
Up.
And also, so he's writing this letter where he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive when you read this letter. Again, this is this guy's recollection. He probably missed 2 lunches or something or whatever. And then he says in the letter, he goes, Gene, I've learned things here that I can't express. And I'm like, well, then you haven't learned them. They're not things then. They're vague fucking feelings. And then he expresses them. And no, they weren't things.
Nope. No, they were not.
No.
Something about a river?
And he's like, are these letters fun to read? Would you watch a movie about me narrating this letter for most of the movie?
Kind of get what Dad was going for with the whole don't want you to go to Tonga thing now. Good one, Dad. Good one.
But the good news, though, is that while he's reading this note, we're seeing Anne Hathaway walking around in a field in a flowing white gown. So, okay. Right?
Sure.
Like I've listened to more meaningless drivel for less attractive women in the past. So fine.
Yeah.
At one point, Anne runs across the water because she's Jesus, I guess. He wants to fuck Jesus.
That was
that okay, she did walk on water. I'm not crazy.
She does walk on water in his montage at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love a good gender switch on the Messiah, but I do not see that being what this Mormon movie intended.
No.
Come on, that's some Shyamalan level twist. Anne's been Jesus the whole time?
Yeah, right?
You'd figure Jesus would be a better Oscars host. But I don't know.
No, you wouldn't.
Handle his pot a little bit better. Fuck.
All right, so he's dreaming about dying, but then the Catholic priest guy comes to find him. Old Catholic priest guy has one little bit of food that he's been holding on to, but he's going to give it to the Mormon missionary, and they're going to make up for their war over the Tongan souls that they've been having since he got there.
And he accepts it awkwardly fast, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, the only other way that could have been more awkwardly fast is if it was Heath Enright. Please, Coley Heathy, you must take this food.
Okay.
I am but an old man, and you're young,
good.
with much to do, and wow, you are. You're just going to town on that, huh?
Good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thought I'd have to convince. It's fine. Goodbye. I guess I'm gonna go die.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh well, no. Sorry. wait a second.
Yes.
Do you have any more food?
Nope. No, that is the last food. I'm gonna
boo.
die because.
Boo.
Okay.
Enjoyed dying.
I mean, that's basically what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Don't offer food if you don't want, like, if you don't genuinely
Yeah.
want the person to eat it.
That's fair.
But the key here, though, is that Catholic guy is super sorry for trying to get people to beat him up and spreading rumors about rats eating his feet because they hate Mormons and shit. And he's learned that Coley Pokey is actually a pretty good dude.
I wanted more trash talk here, though, from the Catholic priest guy. Just like whispering to John, like, look into my heart. prophets don't come from goddamn upstate New York. My God is real, and he's killing you right now. You lose, I win.
So, all right, so they're all sitting around starving to death and everything, and then finally the bell that they ring when a boat shows up starts ringing, and everyone's like, oh, it's the boat. I so wanted it to turn out to be the New Zealand pimp again. It's like, oh, we just brought, we were just going to fuck y'all, but...
That was... I rang the really good news bell. It's more Nazi slavers. Do you guys want to be Nazi slaves? Yup, we all literally do.
Yep, 100%.
And will you feed us? Yeah.
I wanted to see the boat bell guy wake up and have to deal with that, because we see everybody just like spread out for death. That's like the shot we're getting of this whole town. They like decided not to sleep in their houses and just spread out on the ground and died that day. But then watch him be like, hey, guys, okay, you're all in earshot. There's a boat.
Right, can we just pass it down the line?
Go
it's a
ring
small
the bell.
island.
Dude, no, come on, just get up. I'm telling you with words. It's all the way over there. I'd have to climb a thing.
All right, but so they get food and everyone's going to live except for old Catholic dude who gave away his last food. He dies. So we get his funeral. This island is so inconsistent with their funerary rites, by the way.
Yeah.
Totally different
All
thing.
they know is that Tongan funerals involve wicker, damn it. Wicker.
Yeah.
And, of course, Coley Pokey plays with a trumpet.
God damn it. I almost quit the movie here. I almost quit the movie with the trumpet playing. That's They're killing me.
That's what got you, huh? All right.
It really, really did.
So now Coley Pokey is checking his mail because this movie is about so goddamn little. There's a new mission president who wants to promote him, but not Fekete. Fekete can go fuck himself because he's not very white and delightsome at all, is he?
He's like, oh my gosh, Fekete, it's great news. I'm going to be mission president and start a school and preach to outer islands. And he's like,
that's
really?
Great. What about me? What about me?
You?
Yeah.
You
get to help.
Keep
what was that?
Building stuff.
Keep building.
Yeah.
The sweatshop for Pier 1 imports? Is that what you're talking about?
So now we get a scene where Fekete and Coley Pokey say their farewells, and there's this great awkward moment where they know that, like, in a movie they should exchange something, here, have something to remember me by, but neither of them wants the thing. Right? So,
no, I couldn't be responsible.
Have room
for that
in my pocket for that. Pearl.
I got you dead guy's pearl.
Did you just find that in your pocket? No, I got it for you, especially.
No. That's so much worse than my gift of lint.
The dead guy's pearl back. There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And so as they're leaving, Fekete goes, I will build all your chapels for you because I'm not white enough for a good position with your church, but
I'm going to build all the places that you're in charge of.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't sound right.
Hey, in like 25 years, you will sort of be a person to us.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Technically.
No. You will die before then.
You will die before then of bone cancer. That's
cancer,
fun.
we will learn. Yep.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, right. No, come on. Don't give away the twist. All right. So now it's time to learn all about the pedophile.
Yep.
Right?
And again, we are going to pick up this horrifying plot thread and then drop it in the sand right where we found it.
Yeah. So he's talking to Tomasi, Coley Pokey is. I guess Tomasi, now that Fekete has gone off to be a builder again, Tomasi is his sidekick, Polynesian.
Yep.
And Tomasi's like, well, the other day I brought my daughter over to the governor to let him fuck her for a minute. And Coley Pokey's like, you did fucking what now?
No, I wish that was the scene. The scene is, I used to have to let him fuck my daughter. Now I give him alcohol instead. And Coley Pokey is like, that's horrible. You absolutely should not give him alcohol.
Okay, he does. He totally does.
Why do you wish wouldn't you wish for the liquor thing instead of the daughter fuck thing?
Yeah, Tomasi asked this, like, so you want me to go back to my daughter's vag. What are you saying to me now?
And he's like, all I know is that Mormons don't drink or serve alcohol. And he's like, oh.
No. We're allowed to sell it, right? Like it's as long as nobody sees the bartender's hand.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I put a screen
Right?
up when I gave
Pretty
it to
sure
him.
you have a little blurry thing there.
Yeah.
You're fine.
But Tomasi's done with this asshole. He wanders off after he says, I forbid you from giving that man alcohol anymore.
Which, again, is a replacement for his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So God wants his daughter getting fucked by that rich guy is the Mormon message of this moment.
Very
Yes.
clearly. So, okay. So, but his counselors have all left him now. So he's trying to go on a trip to some other island somewhere, and he has to try to launch the boat on his own, but he can't do it because he needs help. And then Tomasi shows up and agrees that it is best to always do what the white people say. So he helps him push the boat, and they sail somewhere. So they're sailing to some island or whatever, and they lose their wind. So they're all sitting out there on the ocean, and they realize that they're praying wrong. They need to change their prayer strategy.
You know what I just realized is we're praying for wind from the south. Someone's probably praying for wind from the north. I have texted them a couple of times to stop, but I feel like they're not.
Hey, we can sail into the wind. You can sail into the wind with a sailboat.
The whole thing. But eventually the prayer strategizing meeting doesn't work. So Nathaniel Lees, the guy from The Matrix, decides he's going to get in their little dinghy and row Coley Pokey all the way to this little island. And I'm like, well, can't Coley Pokey row his own fucking self to the island? Why does a brown person have to do this for him?
Oh, and luckily he explains, he's like, look, I am useless and just a terrible savage, but you know what I can do? I can serve a white man.
Yep. Yeah, he has a whole fucking monologue about that.
And then then for some reason the camera lingers after the monologue, and I wanted him to be like, I'm thinking of a thing. All right, let's do this.
I see something blue.
Is it water?
I see something else blue. Is it the sky? God damn.
Yeah.
All right. So, but he does get Coley Pokey to the island in time to share the gospel after all. So he spreads Mormonism to all the other islands, and he writes a letter to Gene, and Gene writes a letter to him, and he baptizes the shit out of some Tongans. They were lining the fuck up for him, y'all.
And I love that they're running out of stuff to say in the letters already.
Right?
Like,
yeah, there's a lot of
writers.
Anyway.
The writers of the movie are running out of things to say and made up in letters. It's like people who text "hey" at this point. They're just like, "Hey, fuck you." Everybody who texts the word "hey," go fuck yourself. God
Everyone text Heath the word "hey."
Don't text.
All right, so now
don't dox my phone number.
He's been on the island for 2.5 years. Which I thought was longer. God, Jesus, I thought, okay. So anyways, he's been 2.5 years. The chapter president is here to see him, and he's super embarrassed because his lean-to is messy.
Yep. And by the way, this chapter president is fucking bananas. He's like, so you been here for 2.5 years. And he's like, yep, I opened a school. We were preaching and baptizing. I almost starved to death. There was a giant storm. I'd love for you guys to check in more often, by the way. And then he goes, yeah, okay, that all sounds whatever. Did you fill out the baptismal paperwork?
Yes.
Yeah, we're putting cover sheets on all the TPS reports. Now on.
Yes. That's the whole conversation. He's like, well, you've spread our religion quite effectively, but you don't seem to have any of the paperwork done. So then we get a humorous him getting the paperwork done montage.
Yeah. Which, again, I love that was included in this movie because, some guy was like, hey, I need these sheets. And he was just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, you weren't here when I got trapped after the tsunami and almost starved to death. I had to steal get an old guy's food willingly. But, yeah, man.
Who died later and can't tell us whether or not he gave it to me.
Get you those baptismal records right away. In my book, you're going to look like such an asshole.
So just before the president leaves, he brings all the paperwork, and he's like, here's all that paperwork you needed. And the president's like, wow, I sure am sorry I was so hard on you. By the way, I want you to stay in this miserable hellhole for another 6 months. Bye.
Oh, He's gone.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like being in prison, except for rats eat the soles of your feet.
Feet, yeah.
Sometimes.
It's a really slow boat. You can hear me saying this. You're still right there.
I can see you. You're staring me in my eyes.
We're 5 feet away. I can touch you. I'm touching your hand. I'm touching you.
All right. But of course, if you're going to describe a Mormon mission, you're going to use the word adventure an awful lot. So it's time for an adventure.
Is it?
Sometime later, he's on a boat with, two of the characters, and they find one of the guy's kids stowing away on the boat. So he tosses the kid overboard and says, swim home. Which is so Heath's dad.
Yep.
Oh, that kid is a good swimmer.
Yeah. Or
he's dead.
Yeah.
You know what he is? He's a winner or he's dead, and those are great options. Those are the two. You could... Those are the two. I tried to name a third, and I was like, what? No.
Sorry.
That's it.
Correction.
Things
Text Heath, hey, are you okay?
Yeah. All right. So they're out on the boat, and then there's a terrible storm while they're at sea in this tiny-ass little boat. And they have some adventures. Lightning surrounds them like a team of ninjas. The wave from Perfect Storm shows up.
There's a fucking kid with a tiger on the boat floating by.
Crazy,
Did you guys get
right?
any flying fish? Oh, this
shit.
is great.
Did you see? We saw Ralph Macchio earlier. This is so cool.
This is weird.
Hold on, is that Clooney and Marky Mark in that
What?
other boat? What the fuck is happening?
Is that girl swinging?
All right, so eventually the boat capsizes. Gully Pokey's out in the middle of the ocean all by himself. But don't worry, Anne Hathaway is running down a beach in his memory, so he'll have enough strength to swim to the guy stranded on an island, cartoon island.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, though, Tomasi and Kalepi, the two Polynesian dudes he was with, also swam to the island. How incredibly unlikely this is.
Yeah.
And they're beckoning him over. They're like, hey, John, we found the timeout island. It's perfect. Just keep swimming. He knows to keep swimming.
We're not going to drown. We're going to starve to death now.
Yeah, well, no,
Cool.
Luckily, the boat just happened to wash up on that island, too.
Is this beef jerky? This is
And seeds?
a heck of a happenstance.
He is still far away. Swimming is slow. This is what
I feel like we used up our shouting.
who's your favorite on Drag Race?
All right, so eventually they get back to the island, Niawataputupu, and
Nice.
Thank you. I don't even have it
That's
written
not even
down.
written anywhere on the page.
No, it's not.
Right now.
So, okay.
He's got it on a Post-it note on his computer.
No, actually, I said it like 14 times last night. I was like,
Oh, he made a MIDI file with different inflections, and he was ready for that.
Exactly,
With a button.
exactly.
He sent it to the Ministry of Culture in Tonga.
All right, so
I watched the movie once.
I did the homework. All right, so but he gets back, and everybody's real sad about something. Apparently, he got a letter, and they all read it before he got there, and they're all real sad because it's a telegram telling him he has to go home now.
Yeah.
And what will they do without their white savior?
That's the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So they all gather up to have a big white savior is leaving us party.
They have a gift for him. The clothes the Mormons secretly sent with him in case he died.
What? That is the most morbid fucking shit. Yeah, they come up to him and say, hey, man, when you were coming here, the Mormon church sent us these burial clothes and told us to follow you around with them in case you died. But you didn't die, so you get to keep them now. What?
By the way, I checked in with some Mormon friends on this. I was like, is this a thing? And the answer was, I would not be surprised if it used to be a thing. But what is a thing is the church not revealing how many missionaries die on their missions.
Really?
What?
Yeah. They're just like, they don't keep track of that.
Of their murder numbers?
I'm sure they keep track of it.
But they're not just sharing that number with any old body.
All right, but it's an exciting night for the folks on the island. They got themselves a generator, So now they have electricity and they have a radio so they can listen to radio. And this is where the movie loses track of the fact that the English is a stand-in for the Tongan language at this point. Or this movie wants us to believe that there's a Tongan Lone Ranger out there.
Oh, that'd be the best. But yeah, like they're all sitting around listening to the radio and he walks off, and I wanted so badly for him to be like, kids these days glued to the big wooden box. They don't understand.
And then he throws out his like death shroud clothing and immediately gets killed somehow. That would have made me very happy.
That'd be good.
Yeah, he gets electrocuted by their generator. All right, so Coley Pokey wanders off to be sad. He has to go. He sees Hot Polynesian Girl 2. This is the one that tried to fuck him earlier. She has a baby now, and she must be married because he's not like looking at her with abject disgust or anything.
Oh, and it's the best awkward moment. It's clearly him walking over and being like, all right, last day of camp. Gonna fuck that. Oh, hey, it's you.
You're married now.
Husband and baby. No, what? Congrats.
That's crazy.
I was just checking the specs on this doc right past you.
Oh, firm. It's funny because I hit you up on Facebook without clicking your profile. But you also have been living for 10 years. Yep. Why would you want to get lunch?
Can you tell if I click on the stories or just the...
All right, so now I guess Hot Polynesian Girl 2 is going to sing him off, right? And she has
a British accent.
Yeah, well, right, yeah. She's got a lovely falsetto. So yeah, we have the whole like he's getting on the boat and everybody's lining up to be sad. And the mom whose daughter he didn't fuck sure is gonna miss him, and all the brown people are sure happy they got taught white people God.
I wanted him to be like, and here's a jar of my semen. Enjoy your half-white baby.
Huh?
I
knew you wanted
it. Right?
Been saving this up for a while.
I had a jar left over from the Catholic guy. It's weird. It's like, but I came across a jar. I thought, why? You know,
it had cum in it, so I was like, all right.
And then the last person he says goodbye to is that the girl who tried to fuck him earlier.
Yeah,
and he sniffs the fuck out of her, like way creepier than the earlier sniff that we got.
Yeah,
just so much worse. And I wanted the husband to be like, hey, did you just fucking sniff my wife? And just like tackle him. Yeah. I thought that was a thing. I thought we were because
no, man, that was just Feke's weird obsession.
Feke's just dying laughing. Rancor. Long gone.
God. So good.
So he leaves. They all wave their scarves to him as he floats away. And he sure is going to miss Tonga, but now he gets back to civilization and he just can't even sleep on those fancy mattresses anymore.
And I love this final part of the movie because the rest of the story is, and then I went back home where I was white and I lived the end. Yeah. So they're just like, yeah. I got home and I was like, all right, toilets.
Yeah.
Toilets.
Well, and also, like, you know, a sensible filmmaker would have the decency to show us him and Anne Hathaway getting reunited, but it just sort of gets rolled into the end anyway, right? Like, we see them, the first time we see them together, they're walking out of the chapel having just gotten married. We don't even get the whole movie's about the reunion, and they don't even give us that. And then we get this, like, the last scene where she wakes up, but he's already up and staring complexly out over the water towards Tonga, I guess. And she's in the dress from his reverse memory, so they come.
And he's like, hey, small thing, do you always wear a wedding dress? Is that... No?
Crazy.
Just a reference to my letter.
Yeah.
When I was running down the beach and swimming in a dress.
Yeah.
In a letter.
And then, but he's kind of broody and everything. And she's like, come run with me with abandon. And I'm just like, is that what Mormons do instead of blowjobs or something?
Yeah, man.
Let's run on the beach together. Okay.
You can run from your own boner.
They do docking. Was that a Mormon thing? I feel like I learned that in a Mormon movie. What
you're thinking of soaking.
Soaking? What's docking?
Docking is where you put your dick inside another guy's dick skin.
Inside the skin?
Yeah, you'd like push forward your foreskin and
you smush them.
And you're like, wow. You like Pac-Man another guy's dick.
Can you dock without foreskin?
No.
Okay. Now, soaking is the thing I was thinking of.
That Mormons do.
And that's where you just you hang out soft right in there.
I can hear when Noah mutes himself these days to cut when we do this.
I don't have to mute myself to do that.
So echoey on his end. His back end noise ends. So it's perfect freedom and perfect silence.
It's just, no, it's not. I'm just checking the temperature. I figure I had a minute to check the temperature.
Air conditioning while we do our bit. No, do it. You're killing it. Teaching more words.
So then we get our Breakfast Club clothes.
Yes! We get a Breakfast Club clothes. And the lady who tried to fuck him gets a Breakfast Club clothes, which means she moved to the United States. What a weird Breakfast Club clothes for her, right? She goes to see this movie with her family, and they're just like, oh, so you tried to get a half-white baby. Huh, Grandma. And her husband's just like, I would have loved a heads up about this scene.
This baby's attractive. Did you use the jar? Be honest.
Come on, jar.
Feel like you used it.
And of course, Fekete died of bone cancer in 1972.
Why even put his shit in there, right? So they
who the fuck cares at this point? God damn it.
They're like
why do any of this? So like a Mormon test audience saw this without the Breakfast Club clothes and they were like, hold on. Did any of these savages move to America and become real people? Tell us.
And then,
so they did.
And then finally we get the fact that John and Jean got married. Neither of them were anywhere near as hot as the actors who portrayed them, and they had a socially irresponsible number of children. Went back to Tonga at some point, probably to dodge taxes or something.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess the closing question is pretty obvious. What is the most precious part of your body that you would let a rat gnaw off in your sleep rather than watch this movie again?
Oh, my eyes. That way, no matter what, I win.
Liver? I don't know.
I knew you weren't going to go foreskin after that docking conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that does it for our review of The Other Side of Heaven. That's not going to do it for the episode just yet because we still need to watch movies at you again next week. So Eli, tell us, what's on deck?
Well, it's our 200th episode-tacular, so I thought I'd pick an appropriate title. Guys, we're going to be watching The Best 2 Years.
Is that appropriate because they both have twos?
200 episodes.
How many weeks do you think are in a year?
100.
Too slow.
All right, so with that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 199 to a merciful close. Once again, a huge thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/godawful and thereby earn early access to an ad-free version of every episode. You can also help a ton by leaving a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoyed this show, be sure to check out the sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist, Citation Needed, and The Skeptocrat, available on iTunes and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. Legal services for this podcast are provided by the law offices of P. Andrew Torres. Tim Robertson takes care of our social media. Our theme song was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Drops on Mars. All of the music was written and performed by our audio engineer, Morgan Clark, and was used with permission. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lucian's promise to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Eli, Noah, and Heath all have giant professional mourner lady on retainer, each for his own reason.
Coley Pokey went on to mumble, I could have been fucking the hottest chick I knew how to put up with in fucking tropical paradise every time Gene asked him to take out the trash.
Heath returned his plane tickets when the Breakfast Club closed, showed him the hot island girl is dead now. Also, when it showed her real picture.
That was rough. Sorry.
How dare you? No, it's fine. Go ahead. You played it well. That's just whatever. Just write me out of my own sketches.
Maybe I get a few more lines next time.
That's fine. I'll tell you what. We'll just let me try it. It's not what I'm up to.
No, we'll use whichever one's better. You say Tonga.
Cool. Tonga. No, you're in my head. You got in my head.
No,
I
you
got
just say it regular. You're fine. You got this. You're an actor. You're a very professional.
Say it as a pigeon.
Actor.
Should we just start from the top here?
Yes,
maybe
please,
one more time. Just roll it back.
Yeah, we'll roll it back to the beginning.
I'll do the blue and the red. Eli, you just stand off and watch.
Sure. Got it.
The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle and a Thunderstorm LLC, copyright 2019, all rights reserved.